Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the 360 Sports Show, coming to you live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I am Andrew Pizzelli. He is Christian Lauber. You can reach us anytime in the comment sections of those live streams with your thoughts, questions, comments, and concerns. And always by email, the360sportsshow@gmail.com. So, Christian, I usually ask, where should we start? What should we begin with? Blah, blah, blah. There's really not much else big happening in the world other than NFL right now. NFL stuff is dominating the headlines. We are a few weeks away from the start of the 2022 NFL season. So I will ask you this. Where in the NFL shall we start? Oh, man.
Yeah. I did the old double mute.
Wow.
I need to get my cough button back. I don't watch much preseason football other than here in New England, and then a couple of games. So,
all right. Well, thank you. All right. So Christian isn't qualified to talk about the preseason. I'll let him cough some more. You all right over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
That's all I got. Show's over.
All right. So we will talk some about the preseason games, but the breaking news in terms of the 360 Sports Show, as always, things happen like just after we get off air. Deshaun Watson officially has his suspension. Now, this is it. There's no appeals. There's no nothing, because this was a deal that was brokered between his side, the Players Association, and the league to satisfy everybody. Who knows if this will set a standard, right? And like, is this the bar now for the NFL and domestic violence?
Standard in the NFL, it's case by case.
Exactly. So, but who knows if this will alter any of that? But 11 games. I think the fine is kind of the bigger piece here. I mean, in terms of what he actually is making, It's still chump change, but it's a whole hell of a lot better because the Browns were trying to like game the system and, well, he's only making, 1 point something million in year one. And so his fine was like going to be $340K, something ridiculous. Money that he throws away on Instagram. So $5 million fine as well. I still think the NFL has the power. They don't need to have, reasonable doubt in a criminal court. If they wanted to, they could have suspended him a year. Maybe they just wanted to get it over with, and Deshaun was willing to take 11 instead of having one of those big, drawn-out legal fights like they did with Brady. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't feel like this is like the craziest amount of games or fine. The fine is nothing. I'm sorry. It's just
it is nothing.
He's making $250 million, so like it's not going to even bother him. So, 5 more games, that might be a little bit extra. I thought he was going to be gone for the season. I'll be honest. I thought the NFL was actually going to throw the book at him, but $5 million in 11 games. Plus, I guess last year, maybe they'll try to like scheme it that way that he already lost a year. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, I think he could have gotten more easily, but this is where we're at. So 11 games, still a chunk of the season. So good luck to Cleveland.
Yeah. So, I mean, we will be bringing this back up again later in the show, probably during Hot and Not. What do you think? I mean, I don't know the Browns schedule off the top of my head. Let's look.
Let's end the show. You don't know the Browns schedule?
So before we do this quickly, because we'll very quickly go through like win loss win loss win loss. With Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback, if you were just thinking with him as their quarterback with that team, how many games do you think they'd win?
Out of the 11?
I'm just gonna go. Sure, you know what? Let's go. I mean, I don't know what the record's gonna be when Watson comes back either. With how what's his hasn't played football in over 2 years. But sure, let's do the first 11 games. What do you think they can
4-7,
go?
maybe.
I was gonna guess maybe like 2 or 3 wins.
Again, I haven't seen their exact games, but
So-
I'm assuming they play some pretty good teams. So,
let's do this really quick, just for posterity.
we're going over the Browns schedule. This is how you know it's the dead of summer.
Browns Panthers week 1. I say like somehow a win. Those are 2 kind of teams.
Say a loss.
All right, so
Carolina's got Baker Mayfield. That'll be a homecoming for him. He'll be pumped for that one.
Browns Jets week 2.
Jeez, pick your poison. I'll say win there as well.
All right, so we're basically even. We're saying they'll split the first 2.
Yeah, 1-1. Yeah,
Steelers Browns loss.
loss. Yeah,
Browns Falcons with Carson Wentz down in Atlanta, right?
I say loss.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm gonna say loss too. Chargers Browns loss.
Loss.
Patriots Browns.
Win.
The Jacoby Brissett revenge
That'll
game.
be the easiest game the Browns ever play this season. I guarantee it.
Man. So we already know how Christian feels. I'm gonna say loss. It better be a loss, but we'll tentatively say
You buy Mac Jones shirts, so you're null and void.
So what's that? 1, 2, 5, 6. Browns Ravens loss.
Yeah, loss.
Bengals Browns loss. Browns Dolphins
Loss.
push, but I'll say loss. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 more. Browns Bills loss. Buccaneers Browns loss. That's 2 and 9.
Who's the Bucks quarterback?
I believe it will be Tom Brady, though that is November 27th, so he may be taking a week off for Thanksgiving.
Costa Rica. Yeah.
He promised the kids they were going.
Sounds like Thanksgiving Day, Thanksgiving Turkey Day. That sounds like vacation.
He
time to
promised
me.
the kids they were going to go to like Australia for Thanksgiving, down under. So he has to keep that promise now, to the children.
He's a
So
family man.
Tom Brady. We'll talk about that in a second.
4 weeks at a time. He's his family man.
So
Doses.
yeah, I mean the Browns 2 and 9, 3 and 8, however you want to slice it. That's going to be their start, and then you're going to get Deshaun Watson back in time to play the Texans, which will be a loss. Like if the Texans don't win that's going to be a game. It would be like that. Everybody's going to be rooting for the Texans, and somehow they're going to like blow it in the final 2 minutes. And then the national script will flip like, oh, Deshaun Watson come back in. Like, no. Texans better win that game. Then Bengals again, then Ravens, then Saints, Commanders, Steelers. I don't know. The Browns are going to win 3 to 5 games this year, at best. So, congratulations, Cleveland. You got your quarterback. Goodness.
They're looking ahead to 2023.
Yeah. Yeah. Gross. You mentioned Tom Brady. So he did return from his excused absence. His few weeks away.
Until he disappears again.
Must be nice. Is he going to turn into like Kyrie? Is that what's going to happen?
Who knows?
That
I
would
think anything is possible.
That would be the worst turn. I mean, Tom's already like, kind of a weirdo. He's really shown. He's always been that, and he's kind of really leaned into it. If it starts becoming this, like he's really talk about truly coasting. He's just
The
like,
diva.
nah, you guys can beat Cleveland without me. I'm gonna go to Costa Rica again. So nobody knows, as far as I know, nobody knows where he went or what he did.
No.
Am I right?
True. Yeah.
Which-
Confirmed.
Which is rather shocking considering who he is and the like drama. Like you'd think if he was on a beach somewhere in like Italy, TMZ would have found it.
Well, if you like, I don't know, if you look and at like your local magazine stands, I said this last week, it's like his marriage is in shambles. So I don't know. I mean, it happens every year, but
So what do you think? Like, everybody's like wondering like what country are they in? They're actually just like in a couples counseling session in Tampa.
would be. I mean, it would be kind of like funny that he's like has to take a break during training camp, but he signed a 10-year deal with Fox. I just don't get it.
Well, that's what I don't understand is, and it's not like he's going to be, because correct me, he's not a studio analyst. He's going to be like
Well, he's broadcast, I think.
a color commentator. Dude, you are not. Like, he ain't going to be home. He'll be home less than he is as a football player. Because it's not, oh, I go to the facility and, I practice and then I come home. And, hey, we've got home games 8 out of, 17 weeks, 9 out of 17 weeks. And so I'll be home for this whole week and coming home. You're on a national broadcast crew? All right, you're in Philadelphia one weekend. So Sunday night or Monday morning, guess what? You're flying out to the next city that you're in that week. So he going to be on the road for 18 plus 20 something, not even preseason, playoffs, 26, 27 weeks. Hey, that's maybe what he wants, to like stay in the game a little bit, prepare. Like, same way like Tony Romo talked about preparing for the games, kind of gave him that as a quarterback, that same sort of preparation. It prepares being a color commentator. You got to study and keep up with things. So I think I could see Brady enjoying that part of it. The home life, the work-life balance is not going to exist, dude. So if it is on the rocks, it's only going to get bumpier. Nothing.
I got nothing to add. I'm ready for Brady to come back, play football, and then figure out what the hell he's going to do. So everybody can stop talking about him on The Masked Singer or him and his marriage in shambles. And
My Marriage in Shambles. Is that a new TLC show?
I'm ready for football to start instead of this.
Instead of the drama. So this kind of works well on our next subject. When football does start, Thursday night football, outside, I think week 1, because it's opening night, will be on NBC. But going forward, you're going to have to get it through Prime. You're going to subscribe to Prime to watch Thursday night football for out-of-market games. I guess in-market games will be shown on a local network. Now, say you're a Patriots fan, you live in Rhode Island, I don't think that's going to be on local TV there. It's going to be like, well, local CBS 4 will have it, but if you can't get that in Rhode Island, that usually always ends up being the case. So if you don't have Prime, you can't watch Thursday night football. What is the, like, this is maybe me just personally, Christian, do you have Prime?
Mm-hmm.
So you have Prime.
Yeah.
I have Prime because Mary has Prime, right? So there's a lot of situations like that where somebody, like, think about how many people have Netflix or Disney Plus, but it's it's my uncles or my friends or my cousins or somebody else's friend of a friend. It's my college roommate's cousin's login. There's a lot of those, and especially when you can't, they change the password on you. You got to text somebody to text somebody to text somebody. Pass down the password. For anybody that doesn't already have Prime, and the NFL might be banking on that, like a lot of people already have it, but I gotta bet a whole lot of the like football demographic doesn't, and probably isn't willing to pay the like $1.39 a year, $1.20, $1.39 a year, around there, to just watch one football game a week. I don't know.
Well, in 2021, Amazon reported that Prime had more than 200 million subscribers worldwide. So I'm going to assume that a safe number of football fans will have Prime. But if you don't, I feel like this is the way it's going anyway, is eventually you're going to be on Peacock or Paramount Plus or whatever. I feel like this is the way it's been going for a while. So
yeah, it's so fragmented. I mean, this is what happened with cable, and it's now going to happen with all the streaming services.
ESPN Plus
Yeah,
It's
you
the
want
same thing.
you want to watch UFC? You need ESPN Plus.
Same with the NHL playoffs. You need ESPN Plus.
You want to watch this thing? Oh well, you need Peacock for that. You want to watch this thing? Oh well, you need Paramount Plus for that. And it's just all in 5 years there'll be one like conglomerate that like just absorbs all of them and like is a clearinghouse for all of it. But for now, this is it. We gotta pay for it. I know. I'm waiting for my dad to like, because he watches the show. I'm waiting for him to write me about this. Back in the day, the deal was you got TV over the air, which you still can. You can still get football games with an antenna. They're all on the regular broadcast networks. And the deal was you got to watch ads. Ads were there. Now cable comes along. You pay to watch the game and you watch ads. How many people in that generation, Christian, do you think, like the 50 plus, if they don't already have Prime, are going to pay $1.20 just to watch 17 football games in the course of a year? I don't think any. I don't think this is going to grow Prime's like viewership.
Well, not if you put them in the demographic of everyone 55 and older. No.
Yeah, but those are probably going to be people who don't have it. Like you said, most people already have it. So if they're hoping like football's going to bring them in, it ain't.
Yeah, but how many people? How many of those people have kids that they're going to watch on some other way? I mean,
that's true. I guess. So you have Prime, I have Prime, but like not exclusively for football. Comment section, podcast listeners, write us. We want to know: do you have Prime? If you don't, will you get it just to watch Thursday Night Football? Maybe we'll put out a poll.
How about also, does anyone care about Thursday Night Football?
That is also like so we need 2 polls.
You said 17 games, but how many of those 17 are going to be good watchable games?
Well, that's exactly. So let's see.
For me, I think it's worth it because you get the benefit of other TV shows and stuff on there. But I'm also don't take my opinion for gospel. You know.
Let's see. What should the question be? Is Thursday Night Football worth paying for? Right? Is Prime? Will you get Prime just to watch Thursday Night Football?
Go. That's the way you word it.
Will you subscribe to Prime just to watch #Thursday Night Football? A question mark. Choice: yes. No. We'll run this for a week. We'll see what we get. Just to watched? No. Just to watch.
This is how you tweet live.
This is how you live tweet.
Incorrectly, but you do it.
Incorrectly? There we go. So at 360 Sports Show, you can go take our poll and tell us, will you subscribe to Prime? I know if I didn't have it, I wouldn't. No way.
Yeah, I probably would.
You probably would.
Yeah.
Coco22 in the comment section. I pay for Prime anyway, so I might as well watch football.
There you go.
There you go.
I think that's going to be the majority of people, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Probably.
A lot of people have Prime. A lot of people do. Maybe not, 70 and up, but
we'll see. That'll be the follow-up poll. But
there's going to be some angry older folk that are like, this is ridiculous that I have to.
Where is it?
The hell is this Prime crap? Why can't I just watch it on cable?
Where's Pat Summerall? Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. If I didn't already have it, I definitely would not.
That tells everybody the type of fan you are.
Well, you just said the games are usually horrid.
Yeah, but I also said that I would do it.
That's because you like.
Maybe I'm a loser. I don't know.
I was not gonna go there. I was just gonna say that you don't like good things, but.
I mean, on Thursday nights when I'm bored, there is nothing like watching a crappy football game. So,
the thing is, isn't it funny though? You always, for all the complaining, this is the one thing about the NFL, and people say, "Oh, they're getting too big." I mean, it's like going on 12 years since Mark Cuban was like, "The NFL is like pigs to the slaughter. They're just getting too fat." It's like, I guess it's like the expanding universe. The pig can just keep on growing. As bad as the product is sometimes, as bad as the product art. We still watch.
Where art thou, Prime?
We just sit there and complain about how bad the game is, but we still watch.
Well, you know, it's funny to laugh and tell other teams they suck through the TV. So make you feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
And your team.
Yeah. I guess also we probably underestimate the amount of degenerate gamblers. And now with like more and more sports betting available, like through an app, you're going to want to watch at home instead of like heading down to a bar or sports.
Especially like you put on the worst game you can think of. Giants, Browns without Deshaun Watson, right? There's so many in-game bets that people are going to be watching it no matter what.
Yeah. So the expanding pig, otherwise known as the NFL. Speaking of the Giants, I did want to talk about them quickly, and we will do that in Hot and Not.
It's time for Hot.
Hot.
You want to talk about hot?
Hot.
Please stop doing that.
Doing what?
Continue. Go ahead.
And Not.
God, is he a moron? Oh my God, he doesn't shut up.
It's so stupid.
Stupid decisions.
Dum-dums. The naughtiest knot of the year.
Oof. Suck fest. Suck sauce.
On the 360 Sports Show.
All right, Christian. Hot and not, the ups, the downs, the good, the bads. What was hot for you in the past week?
I went with UFC 268. I bought the card. And this fight between Usman and Leon Edwards was in the 5th round. And it was pretty much dead over. Usman was pretty much dominating the entire thing. And the next thing he knew, his lights were out. Leon Edwards head kicked him, faked the punch, head kicked him right to the side of the face. And Usman, who is probably the best pound for pound fighter right now, or was until he got knocked out, went down. New welterweight title holder.
I mean, I think like in his like they were trying to do a post game with him, and he was like pound for pound, headshot, dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Edwards. Yep. So yeah, that's where I went. The card overall was pretty good. I watched the entire thing, but I found myself like many others sitting there saying, "Well, this thing's over." I mean, he's getting mauled, and then one fake jab and a head kick and lights out. Done.
I'm gonna go ahead and we'll bring this in here.
This is what makes the UFC great because, I mean, this thing's over. 1 minute to go. Usman was dominating. Fake jab, head kick, done.
Done. Lights out.
Good night. And you lose your title.
Literally, like you didn't know what hit him. We gotta see. They probably show a. Yeah, here we go.
I mean, it was a tremendous kick. Though. That doesn't even do it justice. The
boing.
He moved his head off the center line because he faked the jab at him, and the head kick was just pinpoint. It was ridiculous.
I think they're gonna show. And now we go to a reverse angle camera.
The fake jab up front.
Oh, right into it. Yep. Tweet. You can. I can see the Tweety birds.
Yeah.
So by comparison, so we said it's if you're just gonna pay for 17 NFL games, like $130 for a year, how much was the full card to watch this?
$70.
That's not that bad. Especially you. I'm never. Sorry. I'm disappointed in UFC only when fights go super quick. Like and that's always the case in
That's what makes it great, though.
Yes and no. I remember waiting in college for an Anderson Silva fight, and it was like the whole build-up, like yes, it's gonna be this great fight, and then he like roundhouse, same type of deal, the roundhouse kick the guy, he lights out in like 10 seconds, and it was like, oh, dang, that's it, it's over. I wanted to see this heavyweight back and forth fight. And he dropped the guy in 10 seconds.
That's what I always think too. But there's 5 fights on the main card,
and it's usually entertaining.
It is, and it's typically like you get 2 quick fights, and you're like, "Well, I'm going to be out of here by like 11:30," and then it goes till 1 a.m. anyway because there's a 5-rounder. So there's always a couple good ones in there.
Nick in the comment section says, "I've never been more shocked at the outcome of a fight ever. Shock doesn't even put into words."
100%. Yeah, 100%. You watch the full 4 rounds before it. and he had just gotten a nut shot. So they pause about 2 minutes there in the 5th round, come back, and it's basically like Usman just has to run around the ring, basically, or octagon until it's over. He's won the fight. He's up 4-0 probably, 3-1 at minimum. And then one shot, that's what makes the sport so compelling and entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. I did not pay $70 to watch the card. Instead, my hot for the week is kind of a strange one.
The two of us up right here.
Yeah, I said you like bad things. I'm the one who likes bad things.
Yeah, let's hear this one.
No, I was at Muse Tavern on Sunday night, and usually I watch preseason football. You just like, if you're a fan of a team, you're just looking to see your team not make a whole bunch of mistakes and not vomit on themselves. And other teams, it's kind of like, I don't know, why watch early in a game.
Third stringers.
Yeah, early in a game, I'll see some, somebody like a Russell Wilson on a new team, like get to see that for a little bit. But by the time backups get in, I don't know anybody on that roster. I'm not pulling for anybody to make the team. But I could not stop, for the life of me, watching this Giants-Bengals preseason game because it was actually like good. I'm saying like, this is just a preseason game, and it was all like second and third stringers. But you had like 4 lead changes from like the very end of the third quarter into through the fourth quarter. You had like the Giants kick a field goal to take the lead. The Bengals go down the field and score with a minute and a half, and then the Giants go ripping down the field and they score on like 4th down on their last play. I was like, this is an awesome preseason game. Like, as far as preseason football goes, out of nowhere, Giants, Bengals, like, oh my gosh. I'm like getting like, hey, like, we're doing something. I was like, I kind of can't take my eyes off this Bengals game. Like, are you kidding me? This is actually good. The kid, Alex, I think Bachman, their like 4th string tight end, had like 11 catches, 100-something yards, and 2 touchdowns. Like, that's the type of thing, somebody like that kid's gonna like maybe get cut, get signed somewhere else, and like suck.
Be a good player.
No, like
no. I think he's gonna light it up.
You think he'll light it up?
Yeah.
It goes one of two ways. It's like we look back and we're like, that was the moment. We knew then. Or it's like, that was the highest
I
point.
feel like he flashes in the preseason. The Giants are like, well, he kind of sucks anyway. He just like, it's the third stringers, and then he goes and makes a career somewhere else.
Yeah, the Buccaneers.
But he could also just suck. So I don't know.
Yeah, who was he playing against? But I was impressed in that game by Alex Bachman. It was not off. This will be one of the very few times you'll ever see me put preseason game, like non-New England preseason game, in the hot.
I mean, why pay for a UFC fight over the weekend when all you have to do is turn on preseason football to watch a few lead changes? I mean, geez.
Hey, to each their own. All right, what's not for you, Christian? And you can't say me picking a preseason game.
I don't even remember what I had for now. I think I had something, but today this KD rumors came out that he's just going to go back to the Nets. So I'm going KD and the Nets. I think it's just like, it's not fun anymore. NBA, like, we needed him to move somewhere. I didn't necessarily want him to come to the Boston, but having this drama. Also, he held up a bunch of signings, and Pat Bev is hating on Twitter, and it's just like, that's entertaining. But yeah, I went KD in the Nets after all this hoopla. 2 trade requests, demanding a trade. It doesn't like the coaching staff, doesn't like the team. He's done. He's coming back.
Yep. Yeah.
Classic.
We'll talk at length about that after we finish up here, because I do have some thoughts on that. My not was Jimmy Haslam, owner of the Browns.
Good one. Yeah.
Talk about like a masterclass in what not to do when you're have a press conference about somebody being suspended, and then having. Deshaun Watson himself was poor. I want to apologize. Like a few days ago, I want to apologize to everyone, blah, blah, blah. But I maintain my innocence. Well, then what were you apologizing for, Deshaun? Well, everyone who's affected by this. Well, what about, the women? Like, well, everybody. Like, it just goes around in circles. Not PR disaster. And then you have Haslam up there talking about, oh, well, America is the place of second chances, and we believe in second chances here, blah, 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 blah. And then like before anybody can ask, he just goes, and people are gonna say, is Deshaun just getting a second chance because he's a star quarterback? Well, of course. Dude.
Did you just say that?
You said the quiet part out loud.
Someone turn off his
Yikes.
mic. Turn off his mic, please.
Yeah, that's when anybody else sitting at that table is just doing the old.
That's the old PR guy on the side, just like.
Yeah, let me lean out of the frame. Luckily, those aren't like a White House press conference where like they leave and then like the press, the press secretary or the PR person has to come up and like, all right, I'll continue taking questions now, and you have to like deal with whatever like craziness was just said up at the mic. Luckily it's not like that, but oh my god, talk about a bad look. And then he like doubles down. He's like, yeah, and look, hey, we gave Kareem Hunt a second chance, and that turned out pretty well. It's like, yeah, but did he deserve? Does he deserve? Some of these people, do they deserve a second chance to play professional football? Second chance in life, obviously. Second chance to be given millions and millions and millions of dollars when they abused their children and significant others, and in Deshaun's case, like assaulted, allegedly. We have like 26 cases. It's kind of bad. Women, I don't know. To say it, like you didn't need to say it, dude. Like everybody knows why.
That's one of the ones you just go in the locker room and just sit on the bench and just look around and remember that you're the owner of the Browns. Don't say anything stupid. And I can't say I'm surprised these bozo owners do this more often than not, or something stupid.
Yeah. Hey, the league isn't filled with Rhodes Scholars, and evidently neither is the ownership groups.
Mm-hmm.
So, some comments in the comment section. Pete Gansett says, actually, the NFL should pay fans to watch Thursday night games. Hey, I'd sign up for that.
Of course you would.
I would. In a heartbeat. So would you. Come on now.
Well, yeah, but
don't lie.
Like, let's be reasonable here. Like father, like son.
Nick also says, Dana White and the UFC can continue to take my money as long as they can put on great UFC cards with fantastic outcomes. Well, this is the thing. It's like about the product, right? Like football is an exciting sport. The product is fun. But people also want to see like competitiveness. And the Thursday night thing, the turnaround time, and sometimes the matchups, it just always seems makes it either non-competitive or just sloppy.
There's some real duds on Thursday nights.
Right?
No question.
Whereas with UFC, unless you have two guys or gals who just don't want to fight and are just dancing around a ring, an octagon, that's boring. But by and large, even like way down on a card, you're watching two people just fight. And it's not boxing. It's not like, let's win on some points here. You got action because it's just me, all of me versus all of you. and people are going completely at it. And so usually that's exciting to watch at like a base primal level, just watching people just pummel each other.
I know, isn't it America? It's pretty nutty that we just like how wildly entertaining watching guys. But I think what's worse is the guys that are in there willingly doing it.
Oh, I know.
You couldn't pay me enough money to get in there. No, thanks. I'm good. I'd probably die, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that kick.
Oh yeah, no.
Your head would.
Wing! Yeah, I'd be in another lifetime. 100%. But I will say the cards that they put on, it's a credit to them. They do put on great, entertaining cards, but also I would credit it to the talent that they have in the UFC right now. It's just from division to division, there's a ton of talent in the UFC right now. So it just creates, no matter what, you're at least getting one worthwhile prime fight. And chances are, if you've never heard of the other people in the 3-4 other fights, chances are those fights are going to be really good anyway.
Yeah, I completely agree. So you brought up, and you're not, the Kevin Durant situation, which I guess will require a little bit of something here. So he is let out of the ball locker. This whole thing's ridiculous.
Yeah.
put out a statement today. We are moving forward to try and build a championship team. No, here's what happened. He wanted out. Nobody wanted to give you what you wanted, and they probably gave him an ultimatum. I mean, this is what the Nets should have wanted to begin with, is to not... The dude signed on the dotted line to play 4 more years. There. Hold him to it. Don't just cave and, say, take pennies on the dollar. I kind of respect the Nets out of this because they didn't just say, we'll just take whatever offer we can get and we just want to get rid of the guy. They're like, if we're getting rid of Kevin Durant, here's what we want. A ransom. And nobody was willing to give him that. And so I'm glad that they stood their ground, and he tried to put out something, well, maybe I'll retire, maybe I'll do this. And they probably called his bluff and said, hey, Kevin, it's coming up the end of August. We're starting to make plans, preseason and training camps start in, 5 weeks, 5-6 weeks. Are you in or out? We're not getting nobody is giving us what we deem a significant enough package for you. So we want you to be a member of this team. We're committed to you. We've been committed to you. And if you want to play basketball, it's going to have to be for us this year. And if not, if you want to retire, cool, go do that. If you don't show up, though, you're not getting any money. It's got to be how it went down. And he was like, all right, I guess I'll come back and play with Kyrie, who's still there.
Yeah.
I mean, God bless Steve Nash. How do you coach this group now?
I don't know, but they'll be better this year. They have Joe Harris coming back, I think, right?
Yes.
So if the guys actually buy in, I'm not holding my breath on that, but if they actually bought in, they have a decent team. I just these superstars though, Kyrie, he thinks that everybody around him sucks because he's the greatest thing ever. So that's where you get into trouble.
Yeah.
I just remember my other knot, and it was a lot better than the KD stuff. It was Luke Rockhold rubbing his nose blood all over Paulo Costa. Another UFC. It was disgusting. It was
I'm not gonna try and find a video of that to share.
But, yeah, no, you're not. But you can find it after.
Yeah, we'll look at it after to go. Ugh,
yeah,
ugh, gross. I can imagine that one.
Classic.
Oh, yuck. So yeah, Kevin Durant evidently sticking with the Nets. And you know what's gonna happen? A week from now, he'll be traded.
I'm just happy that we can stop talking about this until something else happens. So
until something else happens, we do this again and again and again. Put him back. So
once the season starts, you get a clean slate, so you can come out of the ball locker once the season starts.
Yeah. Until then, you're in and out. All right. Patriots preseason. Watch them versus the Carolina Panthers. A whole bunch of fighting last week in the lead up to their preseason game. I think Belichick probably loved it because, in one sense, you don't want to see your team being the team that's instigating and causing a lot of the ruckus. Ooh, excuse me. But you do want to see your team kind of show some fight and fight back and stick up for each other. So I'm sure he liked that. I'm glad not a ton of it carried over into the game. I was worried we were going to see a brawl.
I think
maybe
both
during the game.
Done with it by the end. So
they probably said, "Listen, if any of you starts a fight in the game, you're cut. You're gone."
Plain and simple, yeah.
So luckily nothing flared up. We got our first look at Mac Jones. What is your feeling, Christian, after seeing a little of Mac Jones in his new offense?
He had a beautiful throw to Nelson Aguilar down the far sideline. Terrific throw. Outside of that, I thought he kind of sucked. Now, I don't blame him entirely. I think the O-line was not great either. That thing seems to be a mess up there. And I'm worried about the whole offense. And it goes from the coaching on down. Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, I have zero faith in. Zero. So I would start there. In terms of Mac overall, though, high throws, missing guy, I just didn't think he was that great.
Yeah, I didn't think it was
season though, but I don't know. For a series that he was out there, not great.
Yeah, I didn't think it looked like anything spectacular. That throw was awesome, but we know he's got that. It's not
exactly. Yeah.
Anybody that's still that's doubting, his arm strength. No,
I also would have liked to see Kendrick Bourne out there, but he got benched because fighting, I'm assuming. So
Probably. I mean, he's been evidently he's the guy we all thought would be like Max, like second guy to go to over Jacoby Myers.
he might be traded because he's in rumors again. So
and he's got like the fewest targets out of everybody.
Yeah.
Which is surprising. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I thought it was weird. I watched some like where it looked like the offense was sometimes doing like the new offense, but I thought it was going to be this like 2 wide receiver, 2 tight end offense, and I see a whole bunch of 3 and 4 wide receiver looks and
yeah, I mean
a lot of standard Patriot stuff, and not this like real zone stretch. Like you saw a couple plays here and there throughout the night. But for the most part, it kind of looked like generic Patriots offense.
Well,
so.
I wonder what they're doing behind closed doors, though. If Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry are out there, are they doing that tight end set? Maybe.
Probably. And they just don't want to show it. But guess what? You got to practice it, and evidently it's not looking too good in practice. Yeah. So I'd rather sharpen the iron in a game than on your own practice field against your own defense and be like, it works. Maybe it doesn't.
One of those situations where Bill overthinks it probably and doesn't want to put it on film, except you have to practice it, and when you get in a game and you put it on film, it's gonna suck. So
yeah, to gain an advantage against like the Dolphins in Week 1, and that's it.
Yeah, who you can't beat, by the way.
Yeah, Tua, who throws waffles at everyone else, looks like he's throwing a pepperoni pizza to everyone else, is throwing darts when he plays the Patriots. But mostly because the Patriots don't cover slant routes. The only thing that Tua can throw.
True.
Yeah, one more preseason game left for the Patriots. They play the Raiders this Friday, and then good long wait till September the 11th for opening day down in Miami. Evidently, word out of camp today, Christian, is that things aren't going so well in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'll just read from Greg Bedard again, BostonSportsJournal.com. Now it was saved. The day was saved, I guess, by one drive, but the Raiders completely dominated on both sides so far. The first 3 Patriots snaps were stuff, sack. So O-line already not looking good. Jones 5 of 9, 7 on 7, and it got worse. Jones was picked off to end an awful 2-minute. The run defense was the only positive, and the pass defense was carved up by Carr, Adams, and Renfro, and that was without Waller. So if your run defense is the best thing about this team, you're in trouble. You can't throw and you can't defend the throw. Look out.
Yeah, especially with considering the teams. If the Patriots have any hope, they're not winning the division. Right? Like, I saw preseason games, I saw the Bills play. They're like third stringers are like destroying people.
They're
like
good.
That team is so ready. They were ready last year, if not for like the absolute insanity of Patrick Mahomes. They're going to the Super Bowl and maybe
and their own stupidity, but
yeah. So the Patriots are going to have to contend with, if they want to make the playoffs, it's going to have to be a wild card spot. And all the teams you're going to like be vying against, like you'll have some head to heads, and none of them are like run first and that's how you stop them. Who is? If you're a team that, hey, you just got to stop the run and you'll beat them, they probably suck. And you know what's a team who, if you stop the run, you'll probably beat them is? The New England Patriots.
Yeah.
In this day and age, that's the deal. Outside of like the Ravens, who are an oddity because they just rush 60 times a game because they have an absolute video game quarterback. Everyone else, I mean, these teams, who knows? The Raiders? I think the Raiders might win that division, honestly. I think the Chiefs are going to have a little step back. They were having a big time step back last year, and then kind of Pat Mahomes got them going like down the stretch. But they're going to be, I think they're going to have some struggles without Tyreek Hill. The Chargers, it's like until they really do it, you'll just never, they'll have that thing, this like, well, we can't do it, bad mojo. And the Broncos are going to be competitive, but I don't think they're going to be as good. People are thinking they're going to, But all four of those teams, that whole division might just take all the playoff spots. And so those are the teams you're going to have to beat. And guess what each of those teams does? Throws.
Your top two cornerbacks right now are Jalen Mills and Jonathan Jones.
Which is not going to cut it.
I would say mediocre.
Yeah, at best. Jonathan Jones is probably like a B-plus slot corner.
I thought Jalen Mills played really well last year, but it's not like he's Stephon Gilmore prime, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And again, at points in the year last year, like, he was supposed to be your slot guy. You had...
I will say, in the preseason and so far on the depth chart, Miles Bryant is seeing way too much of the field. So already there, you're going to have a problem.
Well, maybe he makes a year 2 jump in the system.
Yeah. And I'm going to the NFL next year.
I love Christian. I can't ignore it any longer. The way your t-shirt is positioned, it looks like you have a mic that's just jacked lifting that. Just the positioning is so perfect. The arms coming off of the mic. Sorry.
And
Simple minds, simple pleasures. Yeah, I mean, do you think are we going to get any more of the starters this week? This is the final preseason game. This is the last time to like test anything out if you want or see it live. I hope we see the starters for a prolonged period of time, especially with the gap we have between now and the season.
Yeah.
Your last chance for some real competition.
I would
I don't
hope
know.
at least like a half. Maybe that might be greedy, but like, I'm sorry, you go into the regular season in my eyes that with like 2 series, was it maybe for Mac Jones? I don't like the look of that.
Neither do I. So I really, really hope that we see them for longer, but I don't have very little hope in it. So Christian, unless you want to discuss something else, I think that may just about do it for this week's show. Unless there's anything pressing that you can think of.
No, but we got the schedule coming up in the next, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks now. We'll get a schedule going in terms of picks.
Ooh, correct.
We do need to pick the entire schedule, and then we'll do the weekly. But I got nothing today.
Yes,
We're almost there.
almost live games. Almost there.
Games that matter.
Games that matter. Exactly. So that's going to do it for the show tonight. Thank you for those who tuned in live and watched and listened and interacted with us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can subscribe to any of those platforms to rewatch the show. Or if you're one of our podcast listeners and want to take the show on the go, you can subscribe through Sounder FM or wherever you get your podcasts from to never miss an episode. So for Christian Lauber, I'm Andrew Pizzelli. See you next week, everybody.